How does it work with the kingdom on ministering to takers of the other government's benefits? Do you still?
It's going to be an individual discretion thing. We have the lady who approaches Jesus Christ and wants her daughter healed, and he says, "It's not for you. You're not a part of us. You're this Samaritan." And she says, even the dogs. She takes this humble position of even the dogs can eat of the crumbs at the table, And he healed her because she was willing to take that humble position. And if we're only going to minister to the saints, we don't have nothing to do because there aren't any saints out there. We're all tainted. We're all sinners, and so it's going to be really what I talk about is finding your inner compass that's going to point the way for you and what you must do. Problem is, we got big chunks of yellow iron and magnetized iron all around us that is our baggage, and it's distracting us from doing what we should do. Sometimes you shouldn't give to people. The kindest gift you can give is nothing. And a lot of people who are very giving people have to learn when not to give, because otherwise they enable sloth and avarice. And so you need that compass to be clear of all these things of the world, these fears and anxieties and desires to be thought of as compassionate, so that God can control that compass and show you what to do, when to give, when not to give. Because it is as important to learn when not to give as it is to learn when to give. That both are absolutely essential to giving righteously.
So it would be the Spirit, really stay open to the Spirit, because even if this person gets welfare and food stamps and every benefit there is, there still might be a way for the Spirit to use me to connect some little thing that'll spark some kind of a understanding of a different way.
What they're going to start seeing, those people getting benefits, is that it's not enough. You're going to see them curtailing the amount of benefits you get. You're going to see people falling through the cracks. This is what you're talking about, is the sacrifice of the red heifer. The red heifer in Old Testament has nothing to do with the color red, has nothing to do with the heifer. It has to do with foreign aid. Foreign aid is helping those people that are outside the network, that have not yet come into the network of the body of Christ, which is the people who look to the body of Christ, because it's the benefactors who do not exercise authority, rather than the benefactors who do exercise authority. And of course, this body of Christ only has to give what you choose to give it. If you don't choose to give it anything, then it can't help anybody. And you cast your bread upon the waters. Waters, again, has to do with charity, flow, life. You give your life so that you may all have life more abundant. If you don't give, they have nothing. And people say, well, it sounds like he's asking for donations again. You donate according to whoever you want. We just had recent discussions and trying to get it across to the different ministers, because we do have a few people that donate to us. Most of our ministry has been supported by our labor. It hasn't been. We've given more to this effort, far more than we've ever received. But we have a few people that do donate now and then. I mean, we're talking a handful. And suddenly the ministers of record are saying, well, should they give straight to his church at Summer Lake, or no, they should give to their ministry. And their ministers decide what they want to pass on to Summer Lake. And suddenly, for me to tell them that, I'm cutting off the few people who do donate. Because now they're going to give to them, and I may never see that. They may spend it down there. But that's the way it has to be. If otherwise, what you get when you get all the blood going to the heart? You get an aneurysm. And I drop dead. I want that. I want that blood circulating through the body. Otherwise, we don't have a healthy body. And I mean, it's the analogies are there, the metaphors are there, all in nature. But you guys have to figure that out, and they're starting to do that. But we will need to do. They talk about in Jerusalem having the sacrifice of the red heifer. They haven't got a clue what they're talking about. Sacrifice of the red heifer is when we have congregations that come together that are so self-sufficient and able to take care of one another that when they come to tithe, there's nothing to spend the money on. Now they could take that money and pile it up in some chest somewhere, or they could take it outside the camp and give it away to those round about you. That's what the sacrifice of the red heifer. You had to take the out of the camp and sacrifice it. Well, it wasn't taking a cow out there and killing it. It was making those free will offerings to go out to those round about you. And Feast of the Tabernacles, that was one of the big times you do that, because you invited the stranger within your midst. It was your outreach program. It also was the time in which those congregations firmed up their connections, because even if the congregation couldn't make it to the festival, they sent their minister, because a lot of times if you're a minister of ministers, the minister's not going to live right next to you. You may only get to see him a couple times a year. But now here we have phones and all this stuff, but there'll come a day when you may not. And you need to have those bonds so that, it's cell groups. The early church was formed in cell groups. So was the French Underground. And it's not a bad idea to do. It's a good idea. And it's the only way to become the social assurance